So what did we just spend the last 2 hours doing?
I spent $60 on hopefully something to cut a 5-inch circle with.
Are you serious? I just can't win today.
Yeah, I'm just a mess today. You can't, I bent it with a 5-inch pipe and a vise, so you can't tell me you don't have the right tools. So it's all about doing the right things with the wrong tools. Alright guys, what's going on? So today's video is going to be an interesting one. It's something that I have an idea in my head and I want to put it together. So hopefully at the end of this I can show you guys how to create something from scratch that isn't really supposed to be in a car, but it might look cool. So on the back of this car, I went over this in a previous video, the gas door on the rear of these cars. I don't really like it. I'm going to show you guys on this car because it's still together, but we have a big hole in this one because I did put a taillight panel. You guys saw that, so that's all new. Now on the back of these cars, they have a gas door. So this is basically what you dealt with. You have to open this and then unscrew a cap and then try to rest the gas pump. And I have California gas pumps, those are even more of a pain. And then try to fill the car up, and then this gas door is constantly pushing up on the gas pump and you're worried about chipping and scratching paint. And then you close it and it never lines up the right way. And it's just ugly and a pain and I don't like it. I don't like anything about the gas door design on this car. It sucks. I'm way more of a fan of the actual twist lock style like the Mustangs have. And I think with the Bullet like afterburner style taillights on the car, I think something circular in the center as well would also look good, which is why we had the thought of actually running the exhaust out of that hole, but that's just way too much work for this car. So what Marty's doing right now, oh yeah, see, like I said.
Made in Germany.
Yeah, made in Germany. You gotta like push it on the table, it sucks.
I did,
yeah.
Twice already.
Yeah, it sucks. We might have to use some like spray adhesive or something. So this is the actual gas door that came out of the back of the car. So basically what I'm gonna do with this thing is strip it to bare metal, and you can see it's curved, which makes it a little bit of a pain. But we're actually gonna be welding this up. So I'll probably cut this tab up here, I'll cut that off because I'm not gonna need it anymore. And I'll basically take this guy, and it sits something like so. And so I'm actually gonna weld this into the car. So as you can see, I have like an 1/8 inch on each side that I need to fill. So I'm gonna have to make some material and stitch weld it and actually extend it out and then weld this whole thing shut. And then I'll probably continue and put a little piece across the top to connect it right here. So it's all seamless. You won't notice any sort of change. We'll also have to pull the bumper off to get down there. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna make this a billet locking style gas door. So as you can see, this is curved. The piece I have is flat, which I'll show you. So what we have is actually, I believe it, what was it, from boydswelding.com right there. I'll actually put a link to this in the description if you guys are curious. But this, for whatever reason, they're very expensive. And what I've seen, you can't find a generic style locking gas cap. So this is what I ended up getting. So this is from Boyd's Welding or whatever it is, custom fab and fuel tank stuff. So this is basically a keyed twist lock style gas cap. It's billet fuel door, straight. It has a end to where I can actually put a rubber hose and connect it to the factory tank. And then it's mounting to where if I have a flat surface, all I have to do is just bolt it in and it'll work really well. Unfortunately in the Galaxie, as you guys know, there's no flat level surface to bolt this to. So that's where we have to make it all. So that door is curved. So we'll weld that into the car and make that whole curvature all flush all the way across from taillight to taillight. Then I have to basically raise it up to flat, give myself a flat circular level surface to work with, and then make some tabs to bolt this thing to. So it's gonna be a long process, and we're just gonna kind of let the camera roll and we'll go through it all. So let's get to it. Did you get the axle parts swapped over? Not yet. It also helps when you're not an idiot.
Yeah, well, can't say much about that.
Yep. Can't really fix that. I got my hair.
You don't need a stinking hood.
You don't need a hood.
Welding squints.
There we go. A little bit more. Can't tell the welding good. It goes pitch black, can't see shit. circle. I just gotta sand off the edges and DA the whole thing and boop, like that. And then we'll have a nice curved edge going inward. Progress. Now I gotta somehow make a flat surface on the back of a curved car. That's gonna suck.
Yep. A little big, but it's fine.
It'll work. That's a good thing I had that little clampy doodah there. It just fucking flipped over and just bloop. Alright, so I did the same thing, the same way to some 1-inch flat strap, which you can see I have here. So this is kind of what we're going for. Working with what I got here, I think this will look good. So it's basically, I'm using the 1/8 inch rod, I think that, yeah, this is 1/8 inch rod, to give myself that curvature, the chamfer going inward. So I'll basically stitch weld this to the outside of the body. All this will go on this gas door and it'll kind of sit up. But yeah, you can see, so I took 1-inch flat strap, bent it all the way around, which is this stuff. You can get this at True Value. You can get both of these actually. I got the flat strap and the 1/8 inch rod, wherever it went, you can either get Napa, True Value, Ace hardware stores. You don't have to get a metal supply place to get this stuff. It's just 1-inch. I think that's about 120 wall, so it's just shy of 1/8 inch thickness. Put them together, and then I wrapped it around that same pipe. So this is a 5-inch inner diameter. And then I wrapped it around and basically followed the inside curvature, which is why I had to weld and grind it so many times. But yeah, it worked out pretty well. I think that's gonna look really, really good. I'm happy with that turnout. So now you can see there's a seam in between these two and I could separate them. So I'm gonna have to stitch weld in the inside of this.
And the outside.
And the outside. Well, not necessarily the outside, but I probably will anyways, just for structural support. But yeah, I'm gonna have to stitch weld the inside of this and then grind it smooth so you'll see a perfect curvature all the way around this thing. So that's gonna be the hardest part, is getting this a smooth transition and making sure it's not all wavy. So that's gonna take a little while, so I'm gonna get cracking at that. Oh, good. Oh, I can't get over the tripod, damn it. Yeah. That's a pretty deep little bend. Oh, might have to just bend it by hand. Will that give you the curve that you want? I don't know, probably not. Well, it pretty much needs to go directly below it, not all the way at the bottom. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Because basically, put this in there and see where you need the other one. Yeah, literally on the, like, down on the bottom. Oh, I welded it to the wrong side. Ah, damn it. It's alright, I'll just weld it with it. Welding my vise shut. Oh, I mean, yeah, it looks like it's doing what it's supposed to, or close enough. This might not do what I want it to, but I'm willing to try.
That's kind of working.
I think they need to be tighter together.
It's kind of working.
It's kind of. Now maybe do it again, but raise it up more, so I'm making my own roller.
Ooh.
Who would have thunk? Oh, I just broke it. I'm not making my own roller. I'll do the rest by hand. So now I have somewhat of a curve. I have somewhat of a curve here. I'll basically flatten that curve out. It's flatter. So I'll just keep working it to where it starts to curve more. And then in theory, if we grab this piece, the old one. Yeah, I'm just a mess today. You can see what we're trying to get after. So we're trying to max the curvature and then bring it out more. So I'll just kind of keep working that out. In theory, based on what I'm looking at, I should be able to just kind of round off the edges. See, I don't have enough material to just bend anymore. There we go, I got the end piece right there. So I want to do that right there. So I'll do that to the whole piece. And then I'll basically go ahead and cut the end off, and it should. I mean, that's not bad. Ignore the top radius because that's easy to bend, but I'm just focusing on this bottom part. Those look like that. They look like they're close enough. Love it when something I think is gonna work actually kind of works. I don't know how many times I'm gonna drop that pipe on the ground. When I got a whole workbench and it's covered in crap, it's a little bit hard to set stuff down without dropping it.
4 projects at once.
Yeah, it's not really my recommendation. Things. But you work with what you got.
Oh, let's take a look and see how it's gonna fit.
I guess.
Would you look at that?
So it's obviously got an edge right here, so I can't sink it all the way in. But I think once I trim this and actually get it to pop in, I mean, look at it like down at a harsh side angle. Mm-hmm. And I think it's pretty close.
Yeah, just gotta push this in a little bit.
Yeah.
At the bottom.
It's close enough. This side looks better.
Take a look at this side.
Yeah, this side's definitely tighter.
Oh yeah, that's pretty close.
So I think I got too much bend in the other side.
Just a little bit. It'll flatten out.
But then it's flat up here.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'll just make a little strip that'll sit right there, and then we'll shave it all in and drill a massive 5-inch hole to put our billet gas door in, and then we'll be good.
It'll look like it was never even there.
Yeah. Are you serious? Did that really just happen? Don't suck. Oh, that's crooked as frick, bro. Oh, I'm totally lighting the table on fire.
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, that's a cool effect. Oh. And it's stuck. Bro, I hate Harbor Freight.
Well.
Oh, this sucks. Dude, this thing's already flat.
It's burning it off. Immediately. Find the hole.
Dude, this thing's garbage. The teeth are all flat. This thing couldn't drill through a thing of peanut butter.
So what did we just spend the last 2 hours doing?
I spent $60 on hopefully something to cut a 5-inch circle with, because nothing has anything in stock that I need. I can't find a specific air tool jigsaw blade. Everything's a T-shank jigsaw blade. And this was the only thing I can get, and I'm impatient, and I don't want to wait for anything. So I bought a $40 blade with a $60 adapter to use it, and it's a Mawiki. What was this called? The Holdozer. So yeah,
There you go.
that'll be cool. We'll see how this works. So hopefully it can drill a hole in a piece of sheet metal without grabbing it and tearing it and ruining the whole piece I spent like 4 hours making. So yeah, let's try that. Oh, this is going to be aggressive. Already it's doing better.
Might wanna.
Yeah, do a little bit of that. I actually want this to last. The sucker was expensive. Ooh. ASMR cutting a hole or what? Come on. Find the hole. It's not that hard. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely working.
Now to make it this right shape again.
Yeah. Oh, now I just bent it even more. I just can't win today. Crappy tools, man. All right, well now I get to show you guys my vision. At least it's like halfway there. It's most of the way there. It's not bodyworked or fitted yet, but I think this gets the idea across. So this is kind of what I was going for. So you can see it lines up with the trim. The actual shape of it's pretty good. So it all line up pretty good once we get it all squared away. It's hitting the taillight panel, so I gotta cut that part out. But so you can see the filler neck's right there. So all I gotta do is just cut the head of that thing off, and then I can run a rubber hose to it. But I like the way that looks. I think it's fitting with having like 3 circles right there. I think it'll fit really well. And even the trim looks like it fits pretty good. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, I don't know. It's either gonna look really dumb or it's gonna look good. So I mean, I don't know. I think it'll look good. It'll be way easier to put fuel in it. That's really what I care about. I don't know if it looks like crap. Whatever. At least I wanted to try it, so I think it looks pretty cool though, or it will. So the gas door will actually kind of sit recessed in the back of this ring, and it'll be kind of countersunk into the car, probably about a ½ inch or so. So I think it'll look pretty good. You won't actually see it flush. It'll kind of sink in, so it's not going to be like sticking out a bunch. So I think it looks pretty good. So you can see here's our first little test fit with the actual gas cap in it. So you can kind of see. So I'm gonna have to make tabs on the back for this thing to actually bolt to, because there are, you can't really see them, but there's six bolt holes that actually hold this thing in. So I'll have to make another ring that goes around it, and then it can kind of sit in like so. But kind of get what I'm getting at. So I think we're gonna put a little piece in here and then stitch weld the whole thing on the outside, and then grind all the welds on the inside, grind all the welds on the outside, which is gonna suck and take forever. But that should allow us to have a nice smooth transition up and smooth transition in, and it should work out pretty well. I'm actually excited for this. I think this is coming out pretty well. Alright guys, so I'm actually really happy with the way it's coming out. It looks kind of funky because I have tape over it, but keep in mind there's a billet piece of aluminum with all the rivets and whatnot in it. It looks really cool underneath the tape. But yeah, so this is actually coming out really good. It sits flush. I like the way that follows pretty much all the body lines very well. Well enough. I mean, it's gonna work out pretty well. So this is just kind of sitting in here. I can move this thing around. But the one thing two things I need to figure out: how to fill this gap right here going around, and make it actually, and because I'm gonna weld all the way around this thing and make it all smooth. It won't be just this random round piece. It'll kind of it'll like raise up and be a smooth transition all the way around. But I had to cut the head of the tank off, so I had a rag in there so I didn't get much crap in the tank. So I gotta connect these two. So I think I gotta obviously cut this thing shorter. I gotta cut it like way down here, and then I think I'm just gonna use like a radiator tube that has like a 45 in it, and just go from here down to that, and then it should work pretty well. I mean, it might be a little bit funky, but you just gotta get gas in it. It's not like it's really holding pressure or anything weird. But yeah, so I'm happy with that. Everything seems like it's fitting pretty well. The seams look good all the way around. I'll just have to make a strip that goes right here, and then I'll weld up this, and it'll grind it all smooth. And once I got a bunch of grinding to do, I'll go ahead and I'll work on actually getting the circle welded in. You can see I fully welded that, so I got to grind all those down. So it's gonna be a grinding party for sure. So in this video, I'm just gonna get the whole shape intact together. Alright guys, so after 10 hours of sanding, I got this piece all pretty much where I wanted it. So this is actually what I was trying to do. So it's got that 1/8 inch, I believe it's 1/8 inch, ring around it and the flat strap, and when you sand it all out, it looks like one uniform continuous piece. You can see right there where I welded it. I don't really care that much about the fit and finish. This part looks good, so I'm gonna have the weld seam pointed up. So you would literally, on this car that's pretty much slammed, you would have to stick your head all the way up there just to see that little weld seam. And I have to do filler work anyways. So this guy sits in kind of like that. And I've already made the top piece, so I'm going to well, yeah, we can weld that in there. And then we went ahead, so that guy sits in kind of like that. There we go. Just like that. It's nice and snug now. So I made a little metal ring that kind of sits around this, and then I'll take this guy. This will slide in the back, kind of like so. Nice and flush like that. And then I have this ring that I'll stitch weld. I'll do a couple stitch welds all the way around this thing, and then I'll drill 6 holes, which you can't really see, but there's 6 holes in this, and then it'll bolt in like so. So I think after that, it's gonna look pretty badass. I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. So now I gotta get out a caliper and measure the depth and make sure it's the same all the way around it. All I'm really gonna do is give myself an 1/8 inch on the back side just to stitch weld it, but I like that like 1/2 inch chamfer it's got going on right there. Looks clean. I think it'll look good. All of these will be fully welded and ground down, so it'll be a nice smooth transition basically from the taillight panel to this ring. So it'll kind of curve it up and sand it smooth, and then you can see how it kind of goes back in, and this is all smooth too. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack it in a little bit more and then pull the tape off and actually get it screwed in, and then make sure I like it the way it looks. Then I'll pull it all back apart, fully weld it, and then spend probably a whole day grinding it. So what's going on over here? I'm punching a bunch of holes. So then from here, all we gotta do is pop this out for the last time, and then we'll drill all these holes. I'm gonna get a different machine screw, and then the one it came with was like, it looks like a wood screw and it has a Phillips head. I don't really like that, so I'm gonna get some black machined, well, not black machined, but black anodized finished countersunk bolts that'll go inside of this that actually have a nut on the back. And I'll basically put a nut, I'll thread them in and tighten them down, and then I'll weld the nut on the back side. So then all I have to do is basically just unthread these and tap it out, and then it'll pop right out. Just because I don't like the way it looks with the screws that it comes with. Yeah, I'll pop this out and we'll get it going. Got our gas door. This thing should. Oh, look at those holes that aren't lined up because we can't drill. And then
Yeah, Phillips head.
it comes with a bunch of sheet metal screws. I'm just gonna use
little
these.
guys.
They suck. It zoomed in over here.
Oh, comes with a bunch of these little guys.
Yeah, they're not really the best. I wouldn't want Phillips heads on the back of my car personally. So then you have this little guy. Twists like this. So I'm at the gas station. Throw this guy in there. This thing's heavy too. It's a solid chunk of aluminum. It's got a seal on it. There's the Boyd welding. And you would throw this thing up on the trunk or whatever, throw your gas in, you can see it's already got a funnel on it, which is pretty rad. Once this thing's actually bolted in snug, and then we'll have a tube. We'll take a radiator hose and we'll cut it to fit, and then I'll basically go from here to the tank. And then when you're done, toss that guy right back in there like that. And you throw your key in, you tighten it to however tight you want. I think that's roughly where it's gonna sit. Alright guys, well there you have it. I think it looks pretty good. It's all tacked in. We'll fully weld it in another video because I'm gonna do a chamfered edge and then modify the trim to kind of go around it like so. It'll all blend in. That's another part. We'll make 2 parts of this. There's a lot that goes into this, so I think it's fair enough we call it right here. But yeah, I'm super happy with the way it looks all the way around. It's super flush. The body lines line up really well, which is nice. I bent that in a vise. So you can't. I bent it with a 5-inch pipe and a vise. So you can't tell me you don't have the right tools. I guarantee you have a pipe and a vise or something like a clamp or whatever. You can use a tailgate in your truck and vice grips and bend it. It doesn't really matter, honestly. So it's all about doing the right things with the wrong tools. It's kind of what we do around here because I don't have a shop, as you can see, and working outside in the dirt. But look what you can put together. So yeah. But anyways, I hope you guys went on to learn a thing or two. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. We're gonna kind of finish this up like I said in the next video, but I'm super happy and pumped with the way it's come out. I think it looks pretty dang good on the back of this car, huh? All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.